Make every night a wonderful journey, no matter where you are. Good night, sweet dreams. The first story, holder of the path. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of the path. The worker will try his best to keep a look of indifference on his face while handing you a key which, as he will explain, belongs to an unused supply closet in the building. If only it were that simple. Upon locating and unlocking the correct door, you will find a narrow, winding road suspended in an endless void, only occasionally disrupted by the massive outlines of things best left undescribed. To fall off the path is to be thrown out of reality itself. A nightmarish eternity of inconceivable horror awaits anyone who either stumbles into the void by their own error, or is dragged off the path by the timeless monstrosities that reside on the outskirts of creation. If you should ever feel as if you are being watched while traveling through this piece of oblivion, the best chance you have is to immediately freeze in place and hold your breath. Continue to do so until either your audience loses interest or moves in to claim you. If the latter should occur, feel free to scream as hard as you want, though your screams will fall on deaf ears. Eventually the path will end at a door. Upon opening it, you will find a small, dirt-caked room propped up. Against the far wall will be a heavily emaciated corpse. What's left of its skin has long since blackened with necrosis. There will be nothing else unusual about, unless you approach and ask one question. How did they acquire guardians? If said line is spoken, the corpse will begin to stir. A subtle red glow will emanate from its eye sockets as it lifts its head and begins to whisper the long and macabre history of the holders. It will speak of unholy pacts and unspeakable atrocities. Within time, its tale will touch upon every form of evil known to man or god and then a few more. Furthermore, if given the title of any holder, it will reveal its history and the meaning of the object that it protects. Well, almost any holder you see. It will never go into detail about itself. This is because the ghoul hopes that its visitor will not question why it seems to be lacking an object. Truth be told, its object was somehow sealed inside its skull, and the ominous glow from within its eye sockets is actually the shining light of the object trapped inside. That is object 7 of 538. Its holder will do anything to keep you away from it. Previous next. The second story, holder of wealth. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of wealth. The worker will raise one eyebrow, as if puzzled by your request. Ask a second time, and the worker will shrug and take you across the street, where an opulent mansion awaits. This mansion was not there when you started your quest, but it's best that you not preoccupy yourself with the mansion's origin. Its owner would rather not scare you away. Inside the front doorway will lie a grand staircase, spiraling up across the foyer. The walls will be covered with fine paintings, and a large marble statue will rest on a pedestal by the base of the stairs. The statue's eldritch features will evoke an image of a truly horrific beast. At once both eerie and evil. Admire it all you want, but don't touch it, unless you wish to awaken this starved monster. Ascend the staircase as long as you touch nothing. You will be in no danger. Don't panic. At the top of the stairs will be a small, unassuming wooden door. It will open for you. So long as you are not afraid, you should see a man with a pointed goatee and short, cropped gelled hair standing behind a large desk of what would appear to be mahogany. His suit will appear to be made of both human flesh and Italian silk. He may speak, and at great length. He will talk about his amazingly beautiful house, and the lovely statue of his concubine resting downstairs. Do not interrupt him, and do not answer any questions he may ask. When he is finished, steer yourself and confidently ask, "May I have my salary?" He will proceed to explain to you, in great detail, the value of life. He will talk of things worse than death, and he will tell you exactly what he expects you to do. The fabulous interior of the room will rot away, and the floor will turn from French weave to feces. His own appearance will become unimaginably cyclopean and horrendous. He will then fish out a small banknote from the inside of his human suit and hand it to you. The note is objectase of 538. Its holder is counting on you to spend it. Now, the third story. The Tall Man. Seriously, I know of an old Romanian fairy tale, highly unpopular even in its earliest iterations. It might be based on a particular event, or perhaps it is an extrapolation from existing Slender Man stories. The translation I'm most familiar with goes a bit like this. Once upon a time there were twin girls, Stella and Serena. They were brave little girls and had no fear of the dark, nor of spiders and other crawling things where other young ladies and even young boys would cower. Stella and Serena would walk with their heads held high. They were good girls, obedient to their mother and father, and to the word of God. They were the best children a mother could ask for, and this was their undoing. One day, Stella and Serena were out with their mother gathering berries from the forest. Their mother bid them stay close to her, and they listened. As they were good children, the day was bright and clear, and even as they walked closer to the center of the forest, the light barely dimmed. It was nearly bright as noon when they found the Tall Man. The Tall Man stood in a clearing, dressed as a nobleman. Wool and black shadows lay over him, dark as a cloudy midnight. He had many arms, all and boneless as snakes, all sharp as swords, and they writhed like worms on nails. He did not speak, but made his intentions known. Their mother tried not to listen, but she could no more disobey the Tall Man than she could forget how to breathe. She walked into the clearing, her daughter shortly behind her. "Stella," she said, "take my knife and cut a circle on the ground big enough to lie in." Stella, who was not afraid of the Tall Man, nor afraid of the quiver in her mother's voice, obeyed what her mother said. "Serena," the mother said, "take the berries and spread them in the circle, and crush them underfoot until the juice stains the earth." Though Serena wondered why her mother asked her to do such a thing, she obeyed because she was a good girl. "Stella, lie in the circle." Stella, though she worried she might stain her clothes, did as her mother asked. "Serena," the mother said, and bid Serena cut her sister open with the knife. Serena could not, would not. "Please," her mother said, "if you don't, it will be worse, so much worse." But Serena could not, and she threw the knife away and ran home. Crying, she hid under her bed. Afraid for the first time in her life, she waited until her father came home from the fields and told him of the terrible thing she had found in the woods. Her father comforted her and told her she would be safe. He went to the woods, his axe in hand, and as he commanded, she stayed by the hearth, waiting for his return. After some time, she fell asleep. When she woke, It was to the sound of knocking unheard, or at the darkest hour of the night. "Who is there?" she said. "It is your father," the knocker said. "I don't believe you," said Serena. "It is your sister," the knocker said. "It cannot be," said Serena. "I am your mother," said the knocker. "And I told you it would be worse." And the door, locked tight before her father left, fell open as if it had been left ajar, and her mother stepped in, her sister's head clutched in one bloody hand, her father's in the other. "Why?" wept Serena. "Because," said her mother, "there is no reward for goodness. There is no respite for faith. There is nothing but cold steel teeth and scourging fire for all of us, and it's coming for you now." And the tall man slid from the fire and clenched Serena in his burning embrace, and that was the end of her.